Hello and welcome. We are back, Tradie Business School, the podcast. I'm joined by the wonderful Barry Magliaditi. Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
We love these episodes. We get to have some really grounded, real conversations that, our ultimate aim is to help trades and contractors to run their business more profitably and easily. And today we're going to talk about mentoring and masterminds and how to access insane talent. This is something that is, wow, I just love this topic. It's something that I know that we can tap into to help people to gain the growth and to hit goals in a faster way.
Yeah, I'm seeing a shift, Miranda. I've been in this coaching space now for 10 years, and I'm seeing a huge shift where people are starting to realize that doing the same thing is going to get them the same results. And yet we have the ability right now more than ever to invest money and time into fast tracking our success.
Mm.
And, I know for me, when I first started investing in masterminds, in coaches, in mentoring, in books and audios, I always had that voice in the back of my mind of like, oh, am I going to get ripped off? Am I going to get my money back? Is it all worth it? And I guess I have the opportunity of hindsight now of being here and looking back at the last 18 years of me being in business. I can hand on heart say with absolute honesty that if it wasn't for every single one of my mentors and masterminds and coaching groups and books and audios, there is no freaking way in hell I would be living the life I am right now. Even the ones that I thought were shit investments taught me something.
There's always a lesson in something, even when you don't think it's maybe working. Although often it is not us that is working. It is not it that isn't working. But masterminds and mentoring. It is not only just the coach or the mentor that we can learn from. It is the community, and that's where we've sort of brought in the mastermind element here. In fact, I was talking with a client last week in our community who was like, I show up every week to these sessions and our group coaching sessions, which we could call mastermind, we could call a group mentoring session. And he was like, I just never know, but often the right conversation comes up at the right time. There is always something, as long as I know I show up and it always contributes. Yet it is that connection with others, I think, that so many people underestimate the power of.
Yeah. It's funny because what got me onto this topic is I put a post out the other day to find a private yoga teacher to come around to my house and take me through, me and my partner, through a couple of yoga classes a week. And so there's this yoga instructor, Diaz, where we go to one of the centers here, and he's amazing. And he actually said, well, I'm not going to offer one-on-one because, I'm running more classes now. And I believe that you get so much more out of coming to a class and tapping into the collective energy and the collective consciousness. And it got me thinking about both that, but also the concept of what we offer at the Tradie Business School. And, for so many years, I was so hard fixated on coaching someone one-on-one was the only way to get them results, because I could answer the specific questions that they had, or I could help them access the specific answers inside of them they needed. And I remember it was a previous mentor of mine, Taki Moore, that actually had me completely blow up that belief. Because what I didn't realize is I was missing out on collective energy and collective consciousness. Now, working with a one on one client is great, right, or a coach, because you can go deep. Yet I also feel that there is a limitation to that coach's depth and ability, that when you work in a group environment or in a mastermind environment, there's no ceiling, right? And this is why with the Tradie Business School, we changed our model where we offered some one-on-one, we offered some group coaching and some masterminding, where the masterminding is when our clients get together and discuss what's going on in their business. And this crazy thing happened where time and time again, our clients reported, wow, like I didn't know what I needed, but that session gave it to me. The question that such and such asked and the answer that that person gave was what I needed without knowing it for myself. And we see this time and time again. But equally to every business owner, they all have a strength. They all have something or some things they've worked through and some weaknesses and some things they haven't worked through. And when you get into a group environment, you get the opportunity to look at the same thing multiple ways.
Yeah. It's a collective perspective.
Yeah.
And overlaid by a journey in time as well, because you'll get the group and different members of the mastermind and community at different stages of their journey in time and growth with their unique perspective. So there's an infinite combination of possibilities that open up the conversation depending on who is there in that moment, even the energy they're experiencing or the problems they're experiencing on that day are attracting.
Yeah.
It just brings every session to life. I know every group session I turn up to, we just don't know the energy of that session. It's like they take on a life form of their own, and people will come together in different ways. Everyone is slightly different. The questions come up differently. People learn things differently. And so I suppose now we've talked about masterminds and the benefit of them. How do people go about finding a mastermind or a group for them?
Yeah.
What would you look for?
It's a really good question. And I think that, like anything, you just got to dip your toe in. You just got to get started. And, I found that one mentor or one group would lead me to another group, to another. But I remember there was something that Sam Ovens said to me once, and he said, focus. And he said, focus one course until successful. Now, what I saw a lot was people were jumping in and out of courses and they weren't sticking to it. Now, we know, Miranda, that to achieve anything, especially in business, requires consistency. Now, if you jump into a course and assume in the first week because you haven't made 100 grand, it's the wrong course, and leave and go somewhere else, that's failure. Like that's sabotage right there. So first of all, look for a mentor or a mastermind that shares similar values, first and foremost. Look for somebody who has a proven track record, not just in their own business, but actually helping others, because they're two different things. There's many people I've met that have been able to grow successful business for themselves, but have been unable to transfer that information onto helping others achieve the same results, right? So shared and common values, right? That they've achieved success themselves and others. But also, I think, look at their life experience, right? Look at how they live their life. If you have a coach or mentor that's all about hustling and working huge hours and banking billions of dollars, right? You're going to buy into their philosophies. Is that what you want for your life? And now, if it is, it's fine, right? But for me, I would rather work with a coach that has achieved business success, that's financially free, that has a healthy balance with their partner and kids and hobbies and activities, because ultimately that's who I'm going to become through working with them, because they're sharing their philosophies, their life, their beliefs, the way they go about doing things. Make sense?
Yeah, totally. That feeling that you get that they're a connection, like the values match, yet with the evidence of their success. And I think it is definitely key that have they succeeded in that transfer of information and been able to guide others to achieve the results. There's another aspect as well you touched on is around that sabotage. The sabotage, and people enter into a program and then, I didn't get the result that you promised to me, and your program doesn't work for me, and so therefore it's not the right program for me, and off they go. And often program hop, and sabotage will show up in some pretty elegant ways in every program for them.
Yeah. I guess a couple of things that I want to add for that is that if you're going to commit into a program and you've done your research to know, or a master model coaching, whatever it is, you've done research to know that there's a resonance, that you value the same kinds of things, they've achieved track results, you've got to trust the process. Like if they're telling you it's a 3-month process or a 6-month process or a 12-month process, you've got to like tick the box of going, cool, like that's an agreement. I agree to your terms because you're the expert here, and give it everything. Don't jump in expecting for it not to work, because what will happen is you'll create and manifest it not working. right? So be willing to jump in and be willing for it to work. And one thing that just came through as well, Miranda, is that we spoke before about the masterminds. One cool thing is that the level of accountability that you don't get with one-on-one coaching. Now you get this accountability with one-on-one coaching, but the problem is it can sometimes become like a relationship with your partner or your wife, where you hear you're like, yeah, but you don't do the thing or you don't follow it through, especially after you've been working with it for a time. Whereas when you have a mastermind with like-minded individuals, they're not getting anything out of holding you accountable, right? They're doing it out of the sheer will of them wanting to see it succeed, not because you pay them to. So we notice that within our pods, there's this extremely high level of accountability where people get the thing done because they don't want to let down their teammates, which you don't necessarily get that with a one-on-one coach.
Yeah, there's a way. Sometimes there is a way of hiding there within. It's really interesting that it almost sounds counterintuitive to being able to hide in one-on-one. Yet it is. It's that level of comfort. Yet we do notice in our performance pods, which are small groups of accountability, where they're in there reminding and supporting each other. And I think maybe sometimes there's more eyeballs on
They can't hide.
they can't hide.
They cannot hide.
Cannot hide. It's and it's really interesting noticing how they champion each other, also to the relationships that form. So there's a richness to the experience, that human connection that forms as well, where you connect in with people who think and want the same things or similar things that you do out of life, and that values connection. So as human beings as well, we all want connection, and masterminds are a great way of doing it as a core driver for us, and to be able to sort of head towards goals. So it is a popular misconception that I need one-on-one and to join these other groups. I guess always thinking about what the purpose is of what you want to achieve.
Yeah, and the reality is that if you do your research and invest in one that's got a proven track record, there should be a significant ROI. Now, if you get that in the first week or the month, like you've lucked out, and some of our clients do, and some of them don't get it that quickly. All right, nor do we promise it that quickly. But the reality is, if you do put in the time frame that they're advising, you should get a 10x ROI at a minimum, because not only are you getting the information for now, you've got that information forever. So the last thing that I'd kind of say to wrap that off is to find if you are going to invest in a coach, in a mastermind, in a program, find one that has a combination of swipe and deploy and psychology. I see a lot of programs where they just give you everything. Now, the problem with that is the moment you leave, you're still dumb, right? You haven't actually learned anything. All you've learned to do is take templates and put them into your business. You want a mastermind or you want a group that teaches you to think differently and think for yourself, as well as give you some of the swipe and deploy systems, so that whenever you choose to leave that program, that group, you're actually smarter, you know how to think differently, and you can continue to grow a great business far beyond the limitations of being hand-fed tools and tactics.
Yeah. One of the to wrap up, one of the greatest gifts that I experienced, a few weeks back, was listening to a couple of our clients in one of our group sessions. Now they started asking questions that I ask, and I noticed in that moment that it's not only the content that we discuss and the answers to the questions and the brainstorming and all of the things that we're bringing to these sessions. It was the questioning, it was the thinking and the perspective that I brought to the problems and issues that we discussed, that they were learning also. The power of those questions, they started mimicking me, and it was beautiful because we do have a good degree of fun in these sessions. And it turns out that they are using a lot of the questioning, the thinking and perspective with their teams and in their lives. And what a gift. And so much more than the content, and listening to how we approach and solve things. That it's so much more than the swipe and deploys.
Absolutely.
So much power.
Absolutely. So look, of course, Tradie Business School, Game Changers, we have several programs that can help trades and contractors to grow phenomenally profitable and great businesses. If you want information, click. There'll be a link somewhere around here to join a Facebook group or to book a call with one of the team. If it's not us, if we don't resonate with you, that's okay as well. Still, I highly recommend, if you're not currently working with a coach within a program to grow your business, that's a must. Like, come on, guys, we're in the 21st century right now. Stop doing things the old way. Stop doing things the hard way. Go and get some help. Start with a book, start with some audio, start with some more podcasts, and then make an investment to work with someone, because your business and your future self will thank you for it. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please hit the like button, share it to your other Tradie friends, and we absolutely look forward to seeing the next one.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in today.